Hello, hi, and hope everyone are doing well. So, the lecture what we are going to see is all about the C programming and some of the concepts what we have just already seen. We will have a small recap on all those concepts, and let us just proceed with some of the concepts what we have just missed in the classes, right? And we will have a small recap also. So let us start with the header files what is there in the C programming. Hope we might have already used all these header files, like we might have used this stdio.h, and we might have also used this string.h, and we might have done some programs with math.h. And in addition to this, these are all some of the header files that are just available in case of this C programming. And a small recap of the classification of data types. So the data types classified into 4 categories like this. So one is the primitive and the basic data type that we might have already learned, like the characters, integers, float, and double. And in addition to this, we have the derived data type, like the array, functions, and pointers. And user defined data types like structures, what we are just currently dealing in the 4th unit, and union, and then the enumerated data types. And finally we have the valueless data type that we call it as to be the void data type. Now while we are just discussing in the class, there were some questions about the size of the data types, whether it varies with the different bits of computer or it is actually the same. So sometimes with respect to the data type, the size of the data type, it varies with respect to the computer. Say suppose if your computer is a 16-bit computer, it means that the size of the character is 8 bits. 8 bit in the sense 1 byte is almost 8 bits. So when you say it is 8 bits, it occupies almost 1 byte. So this was the normal size what we have just already seen inside the classes also. We have already seen these size inside the classes itself, where I have just mentioned about the character size is always 1 byte, and the size of the integer is 2 bytes, and the float size is almost, we said, like it is 4 bytes, and double it is almost with 8 bytes. So these were the things what we were just already discussing there inside the classes. Now this is almost with all the 16-bit computer, and remember that it is only with the 16-bit computer. Now when it turns into an 32-bit computer, right, when it comes to a 32-bit computer, now when you look into the size of this character, it is almost same what we have just already seen there. It is 8 bits, means it is 1 byte. But when you look into the size of the integer, earlier in case of the 16-bit computer, it was only 2 bytes. Now it has become as 4 bytes. Now in case of this float also, it is 4 bytes, and when it comes into double, it is almost 8 bytes, right? So 8 bytes, or it is 64 bits that we can normally say, right? And the ranges are given on the side as such, right? So we just want to have some discrimination. See, I just want to say about the differentiation between a 32-bit computer and then a 16-bit computer, right? So the size of the data types, it varies, means you cannot say that it is always, the size of the integer is always 16 bits. It varies with computer with 32-bit also, where the size of the integer is around 32 bits. Now coming towards this IO, in case of this C programming, especially with respect to this input output, we have these 3 set of streams that are available with respect to the C programming. So this streams are very much important, where we have the STD in, where it is connected to the keyboard, and the stream STD out is connected to the screen, and STD ERR is also connected to the screen. So these three streams are available with respect to this C programming, and it is open, and whenever a programming is going to be executed, it can make use of all these three streams. So whatever functions we are implementing in C programming, they are implemented through this set of standard data streams, right? So these are implemented only through this standard data streams. See, when you are just going for this input, how you are just going to get the input is through the STD in stream. And suppose if you are going to print something inside the screen, then you have to just use this standard output, which is the output stream. Now we categorize this IO functions basically into two types. One we just call it as to be the non-formatted functions, and the other one is your formatted functions. So we have just seen a lot of examples with the non-formatted as well as the formatted functions in the classes, but still we now make them into a categories, and we just learn in detail about all these details of the non-formatted functions and the formatted functions. Now in case of this non-formatted input and output, the non-formatted input and output, it can be just carried out by the standard input and output library functions which are available with respect to the C programming. So once we just include those header files, we can normally use all those functions. And remember that these non-formatted input can handle only one character at a time. Now let us see an example of a non-formatted input. Now this is a small program where we have the a variable ch which is declared as an integer, and ch is equal to get care of. So now we know the usage of this getFar function. So this reads a 1 byte character from the keyboard, and it stores in the lower order byte of the integer variable. Now when you look into this, for integer, almost in a case of a 16-bit computer, we said that the size of the integer is 2 byte, and this getChar, it reads a character. It occupies 1 byte of memory, and this 1 byte is stored inside the lower order byte of the integer. That is what we mean to understand here. Now this putchar function, this is a single character output function, and this will display the character, that is the 1 byte of character inside the monitor screen. So this is an example of a non-formatted input and then the output functions. Now coming towards this example where we have declared an integer which is named as ch. So the integer, it occupies 2 bytes of memory. So first byte is here and the second byte is here, and once the getChar function gets the character is stored here. Suppose assume that I am typing a character which is x, and this x is stored in the lower ordered byte of this ch. So this is the higher order byte and this is the lower order byte, and the character what I am just giving over here, it is stored in the lower order byte, and almost when the putchar function it gets executed, the putchar displays the characters which is being stored in the lower order byte, and it is printed in the monitor. Now this is one more example of a non-formatted input output functions where we might have used this getCh a lot of times inside our programming. So whenever we do the programming to make in touch with the output screen, we will always use this function that we call it as to be the getCH function. Now this getCH function, it reads an input, but what happens here is, in case of this getCH function, it won't display the character. That is what we mean, that it won't echo the characters inside the screen. And after the execution, if you want to make this character to be stored inside a variable, you can use like this, like ch is equal to getCH, and when you just look into this ch, or if you try to print this ch, that will return the characters what you have typed. So we have just so far seen three set of functions. One is getChar, and another one is putChar, and the other one is this getCH function. So these are all the examples of a non-formatted IO functions. And similar to this getCH function, we have one more set of function, what we call it as to be the getCHE function. So this function reads an input, and what happens here is, this function will echo the character inside the screen. Means whenever you are just trying to execute this function, the character will get displayed in the output screen. Whereas in case of a getChar function, the characters will never get displayed over there. So these are all some of the examples of the non-formatted. And continuing with this, we have one more function, what we call it as to be the putCH. So this putCH writes the character directly onto the screen. So whenever you have any characters that is to be printed inside the screen, you can just use this putCH function, where the function will print the characters inside the screen. Now you see, this is a example what you have just already seen. So I am declaring a variable which is named as ch as integer, and what I am trying to do here is, I am trying to store a capital A, which is a character in this ch. But actually this ch is being stored, it is being declared as an integer. Now since it is being declared as an integer, but I am trying to store a character over here. Now what actually happens here is, when you are trying to store this variable, this A will be automatically converted into its ASCII equivalent. This A will be converted into an ASCII equivalent, and this ASCII equivalent value will be just converted into a binary, and the lower order byte, since this is an integer, it has 2 bytes, and the character value will be stored in the lower order byte, and the lower order byte will consist of the binary values of this character A. So binary value of the character A in the sense, binary of the corresponding ASCII value for this A. So the ASCII equivalent is stored in the lower order byte, and it is being shown as such here. So now let us see an example program, where this program is going to convert the lowercase character into an uppercase character. Now when you look into this program gets a character input, right? This program gets a character input, but actually what I am having here, this ch is being declared as a integer. So the corresponding character as such we have seen previously, it will be converted into the ASCII equivalent, and the ASCII equivalent will be stored here in this ch. Now what I am doing here is, I am trying to make a comparison with the characters. So after getting this character, I am going to check whether this ch, it falls in between this small a and small z. because this is a ternary operator. So this ternary operator will consist of the operations. If it is true, this part will be executed, and if it is false, then this part will be executed. Now what I do here is, after getting this character by using this getChar function, now I check. Now assume that, suppose if I am entering a character which is named as D. So this is a lowercase character, so I am just entering this character D, and this D, it gets stored inside this CH. Now what happens here is, this line, it checks whether this D, it falls in between this small a and small z. Of course this is a lowercase character, so it falls in between these two. So if it is a true condition, then this part will get executed. And suppose if I am just entering some other character, say for example, if I am just entering a capital A over here, then what happens here is, this condition will ultimately get failed. So what happens, this part will execute, means in the output I will get the same character. But suppose in this case what happens is, I am just entering a lowercase character. So this lowercase character falls in between these two, so the condition is true. So now this part will be executed. So a character values will be returned, and it will be stored in this n. So what it is going to return? So when you look into this return value, I am subtracting the value of capital A with small a, means the capital A ASCII value is 65 and the small a ASCII value is 97. So what I am doing here is, I am just subtracting 65, which is the ASCII value of A, with the 97, which is the ASCII value of this lowercase a. So the output what I am getting here is minus 32. So that is the difference between this capital A and small a. So I get a negative 32. So whatever character I am just entering over here, so when you look into this ASCII value of D, the ASCII value of D is 100. Now this 100 is there in case of the CH, because I have just entered the value of D, and this D is being stored in this CH. Now what this CH will contain is, it will consist of the ASCII value of this D. So when you look into this ASCII value of D, it is 100. So the ASCII value 100 will be stored in this CH. Now after storing, now what happens here is, the ASCII value of D is subtracted with the previous value, that is A minus A, that is negative 32. Now what I get is this 68. Now this 68 is the ASCII value of the capital D, right? So the capital D ASCII value is 68. So automatically the lowercase characters small d is being converted into a capital D. Now you see, I am just printing this value of n by passing it into a putchar. So automatically this 68, it will be converted into the character. So the 68 ASCII value is the ASCII value of D. So what I have just entered there is the small letter D, and it is automatically converted into a capital letter D. So this is a program to convert the entered lowercase character into an uppercase character. So this shows all the corresponding ASCII values. So the lowercase a, the ASCII value is 97, and the uppercase a, it takes the ASCII value as 65. And when you look into the difference between this a and a, it is 32. Now let us see some examples of the formatted IO functions. So far we have just covered the unformatted IO functions like get ch, get che, put ch, put char and get char. Now this is the formatted input and output functions. So as we all know, the standard input output functions that we normally use in case of this C programming is the scanf and then this printf statement. Now let us start with this printf statement. So this we have just already seen in the class while looking into the syntax of this printf statement, where it has a control string and it has all the variables like 1, 2 and so many number of variables that you can put over there. And this control string, it is also called as a format string. Now in the format string is enclosed inside a double quotation, and the format string can have these three categories. So one thing is it can have an ordinary characters, whatever we are just entering over there, and we have a conversion specifier field that is denoted by this percentage with the codes like %d, %c, etc. And we have some optional modifiers also which can be given after this percentage for the width, precision, flag and the size. Now in case of this format string, in addition to this we also have the control code, like we might have used this \n, that is the new line characters, and we might have used this \b, that is a backspace, and something like a \t where we leave some tab space. So we have the characters, conversion specifier field and some control codes. Now this conversion codes, this tabular column we might have already seen in the class, like %c stands for a character, and %d or an I, we can use it for an integer, or we can use %e or a capital E for an exponential format. %ef, normally we use it for a float, and when we just want to use an unsigned decimal integer we use an %u, and normally for the pointers we may use %p. So these are all some of the conversion codes that we have already seen. Just a recap of all those conversion code. So this slide, it shows the format of the printf statement. So when you look into this format string of this printf statement, means we have a flag. So the flag can take the value like star, or it can take the value as the negative, and it can also have some positive values, and it can take some zeros. And similarly it also has an field, optional field, which is also a minimum width that is to be specified. Means what is the width of the total size of the values that we are going to print, and this precisions will be used when you are just using a floating point numbers to specify the total number of precisions that is to be used, and this determines the size, and this is also an optional field. And similarly we have the conversion codes like DIU that we normally use it for an integer and an unsigned integer, O is an octal, etc., etc. Now when you look into this flag, in case of this flag we can just use some values which are following the hash symbol, like either you can use a O or you can just use an X in case of a hexadecimal, or you can use a F when you are just going for a decimal point that is to be printed. So if we, based on the type of the numbers what we are going to print, we can use this flag. So this is an optional field that is available normally. Now when you look into this width, right, say for example this is a printf statement where I am just using a value of the width which is to be equal to 3. So when I say that it is 3, the value what I am passing here is 10. So 10 will be normally printed here, but what happens here is I have just given the width to be equal to 3. So my printing will be like this, where it gives me 3 spaces, and in these 3 spaces I am occupying only the value of 2 spaces, like 10, which is being printed like this, and the first one will be a space. So when you look into this, it shows the corresponding output of this printf statement. And similarly, when I am using this second printf statement, in this case I am using the size width to be equal to 2 here. So now automatically what happens, the spaces are being left justified, the spaces are left justified. Now due to the left justification, the total number of width what I have specified here is 2. So I have only 2 characters. So these 2 values are being occupied by this 1 and 0. So 10 will be printed as such, like this. Now coming towards this third printf statement, when you look into this third printf statement, how many values of the width that I am specifying here is 1D. But what happens here is I am having an width of 2. So 10, it has 2 digits, 1 and 0, but the width what I am specifying here is only 1. But automatically what happens here is, since the width is being higher than the one which is specified here, it automatically changes and I get the same output what has been just already specified. Now in this case we are going to specify the precision in case of a floating point number, as I said earlier. Now when I am specifying a floating point character here, so it is almost 7.2 F. Since it is of type float, I am using it as F. So 7.2 F in the case. So 7 spaces will be allocated, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and then 7, including the decimal point. Now out of these 7 spaces, 2 will be given for the numbers after the decimal point. That is what is this 0.2. So after decimal point, 2 values can be just combined over here. It can be just rounded off to 2 digits. That is what we mean. So as it is 5.43 and it is 7.2, it is being rounded off to 2 digits, so it is 5.43. So since I have just given 7, out of the 7, decimal point occupies 1 and 2, and the remaining 5 will be allocated for the characters before the decimal point, means the number before the decimal point. So the number before the decimal point, since I have only one number 5 and the rest of the others will be left as free, and the space will be printed out here for those corresponding numbers which are not present, and the rest of the 4321 will be rounded off. 4321 will be rounded off, and only this 4 and 3 alone will be printed. And when you look into this next printf statement, what has been just given here is, we are giving it as 0.2f. It is 0.2f. So it is 0.2f in the sense, after the decimal point you can have only 2 rounded digits. You can have only 2 rounded digits, as in case of this previous, but before this we have not specified any width. So since it has only 1 5, automatically that get left justified, and we have the value of 5 which is printed. And after the decimal point it is 54391, but we have specified a width of only 2. So since we have specified a width of 2, what happens here is, it gets rounded off. So rounded off in the sense, as I said, this is 43 and the next value is 91, but in the previous case it was 21, so it was just printed as such 43. Since it is 91, what happened here is, it gets rounded off, so the output will be 5.44. It is not 43, since it is 439, it gets rounded off to 44. And similarly, in the next printf statement, after the decimal point we are going to print 9 rounded off digits, but actually we have only 4 digits after the decimal point, but I have given a width of 9. So the remaining values will be padded up with the zeros like this, and totally after the decimal point we have 9 values, and all the 9 values after this 4321 will be paired up with the zeros. And the next printf statement, I am going to print the value of 54321. This is normal, and I have not given any width or the precisions over here, but as per the floating point, after the decimal point it has 6 digits which will be printed. So automatically 4321, after this 2 zeros will get padded up and gets printed like this. So this is an example how the precisions and the width values are being specified, and how it is being printed as per the width which is being specified. So the formatted input and output functions, flag, it can take any one of these values which is specified here. So it can take a hyphen where it is going to left justify, or it can take a positive symbol when we just want to display the positive or a negative numbers. And similarly, if there is a space, then it indicates that there is no sign. And if you want to add some zeros before, that is padding with the leading zeros, then you can just use a 0, or you can use some hash symbols when you just want to use an alternate form of specifiers. Now here is a simple example which illustrates So I am just going to display a value of 5.5. So when I try to display the value of 5.5, I am just giving it as percentage 0 6.1f. So 6.1f, in the sense the total length which is being allocated here, it is 6, out of which after decimal point there is a single value that can be just specified. It can be rounded off to one digit. So total is 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So decimal point occupies a single space, and the after the decimal point we have one digit, and before this decimal point we have only 1 5 which is to be displayed, and the other values will be padded up with a 0, since it is being specified as percentage 0. And similarly, in this case we have given it as percentage, and it is left justified. So we said that you can let's just left justify by using a hyphen symbol. So this will be get left justified. So it means that when you are using 6.1, the total space is 6. So it means that there will be a spaces while it is printing. So to avoid those spaces, what we can do is we can put a negative symbol, that is a hyphen symbol, which indicates that it is left justified. And similarly, we can also specify the sign of this number either by using a positive or a negative. Suppose if it is a negative value, then we have to just give a minus here, and since it is a positive value, the sign is also displayed over here. And similarly, this is one more example where we have a number which is 17.23478. Now total it is 6, out of which after decimal point we can have only 3 digit. So after decimal point we can have only 3 digit. So it is 234. It has to round it off to 3 digits. So it will be 2, 3 and 5. Since this value is 7, it will be rounded off to 2, 3, 5. And before this decimal point we can have 3 digits. But what happens here is, since we have given a negative symbol, I mean a hyphen, it goes for the left justification. So when it moves on to the left justification, we won't have any spaces. So it will be printed like 17.235. There won't be any spaces. And suppose if you are specifying a 0 over here, then it might be padded up with 017. But if you have not used a 0 here, so we have used only a negative symbol, that is a hyphen symbol. So it will be printed as of 17.235. And similarly, in this case also, we are having a value which is printed like this as a 17.5. Now in this case I need to print the value of a percentage. The printf statement, inside the printf statement, normally when you are using a format string, it always occupies with a percentage at the first. So suppose if you want to print percentage itself, means I have a value added tax VAT which is to be printed with 17.5 percentage. So then what I can do here is I can use 2 percentage symbols, so that 17.5, the percentage symbol will get printed in the output. Now this is another example which clearly illustrate the functions of this printf statement. Now I am going to print this string hello. This hello string will be printed up here, and the first printf statement, it prints as it is hello. Now in the second statement, what I am specifying here is I am specifying the width of this statements to be equal to 3. So width of the statement is 3, but actually how many characters are here is I have more than 3 characters, almost 5 characters are here. So since I have more number of characters, there won't be any problem. It will be printed as such. Now in this case I have a string which is of length 5, but how many width I have specified here is I have specified the width as 10. Since I have specified the width as 10 but I have only 5 characters, it will be printed off like this with the spaces, with padding up with the spaces. Suppose if you don't want any spaces and if you want to justify it, means you need to perform a left justification, then you can use a negative symbol. Now what happens here is almost the hello will get printed up with a left justification, whereas in the previous case I have width which is 10, but since the number of characters is being only 5, the previous spaces means the spaces which is being allocated is 10, so it gets right justified by default and it get printed like this. Now coming towards the fifth printf statement, in the fifth printf statement I am specifying a precision width where total is 10, and out of 10 I have to just print only this 3 characters, out of which I need to print the 3 characters. So what happens here is total is 10, so 10 will be allocated, and out of which I am going to print the first 3. So the first 3 in the sense H, E and then L. Since I have specified the precision as 3, the 3 characters will alone, I mean these 3 characters, that is H, E and L alone will get printed, and the rest of the spaces will be left as such, and this is right justified, right justified. So H, E, L will be printed up, and initially we will all have the spaces which are being put out here. Similarly, this printf statement can also have a backspace, so you can use a control code like \b and a form feed \f and a new line that may oftenly used \n and a carriage return, that is \r, and a horizontal tab space, that is \t. Of course, for vertical tab we can just give \v, and suppose you need to print a single quotes, then you can use a backslash and then a single quote. And similarly, as we all know, this \0 is a null character. Now we have a program. Now can you guess the output of this program? Means what I am trying to print here is, inside the printf statement I am using a percentage symbol. See, normally percentage symbol we will use in case of a scanf statement, as well as we will use it in case of a printf statement. Now in this case what I am trying to do here is, I am not having any value for this n, I am not having any value for this n, but what I am doing here is inside the printf statement I am giving a percentage n, I am giving a percentage n, and I am trying to get these values of this n over here using an ampersand symbol, but normally we will use a ampersand symbol to get the values using a scanf statement, but I am trying to do here with the printf statement. Now and after this statement what I am trying to do here is I am going to print the value of this n. So Einstein space college, and I am giving it as percentage n, it is percentage n of engineering, and getting the value in n, and n is an integer value. Now what happens here is, in this program this prints the total number of characters which is being occupied before this percentage symbol. Means 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, and the space is 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and this value 16 will be returned. This value 16 will be returned to this n, and this n stores the value of 16, and when you print this value of n here, it prints the value as 16. So as we have seen earlier, with so many programs, we'll be using the ampersand symbol to get the values in a scanf statement, but we are doing here in case of a printf statement where I am using a ampersand symbol and I am getting the values. So what values will I get is the number of characters what is previously before this n, that is this percentage will stored here in n, and n returns a value of 16. And similarly, this is one more program. Now in this case, you see, in the case of the format string, I am using a star. I am using a star. Now initially the output welcome will get printed, right? This welcome statement will get printed, and after this I have a percentage star dot star f. Now star, when it is being given here, it indicates that the width has to be specified in the printf statement. Now what is the width of this a is? The width of a has been specified as 5, and I am specifying the width of b to be equal to 2. So what is the precision which is being put out here is 5.2. So totally 5, and the number of digit which is occupied after decimal point is 2. So before decimal point 2 digits, and after decimal point 2 digits. So 2 plus 2, 4, plus 1 for the decimal point, so totally it is 5. So what happens here is, when you look into this, 5, so 2 before the decimal point, 2 after the decimal point. So 2 before the decimal point is, we have only one digit, so that is not a problem. I will get the 3 as it is. Now after decimal point I have 2 digits, it has to be rounded off to 2 digit. Now when I look into this third digit, it is 11.118. So when I am rounding this, it becomes 0.12. So I will get the output as 0.12. So now we make a deep look into this scanf functions. And what is the scanf function? Normally we know that the scanf function is to get an user input. So the syntax we have already discussed in the class, like we have a scanf followed by the control string, and we have the variable address 1, 2, etc., 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 it goes on. So the scanf has a return value. Remember that the scanf has a return value. So it returns the number of input field successfully scanned, converted, and stored. So if you try to capture this return value, you will get the number of input fields which has been scanned, converted, and it is being stored. Now this scanf function, especially this control string, when you are using a control string and when you are trying to get an input from the user, this scanf will get an input. Once you press a white space, means a space is being pressed, then it will get all the input until a space is being pressed. So the input stream will be read until you press a space. Once if you press a space, what happens here is, whatever input you have given, it will be read from the input stream. And similarly, it may also consist of some of the ordinary character string, any string, whatever we are just entering here. Sometimes it may also accept a null character, means null in the sense a white space can also be accepted. or a stream of characters might be accepted. So that is what we mean as a white space and an ordinary character string. Now, and the next one is the conversion specifier field. So this conversion specifier field will be followed by an optional star character. So when you are giving a star, it means that it will suppress the conversion. The user input will be accepted, but the input will be suppressed if you are using a star in case of a scanf statement, especially in a control string. And similarly, you have some optional fields where we specify the field width also. It can be specified, and you can also specify the type of the conversion, like whether it is a short int or whether it is a long int. That depends upon this h, l or l, what you are just mentioning there. So when you have a deep look into the control string or the format string, it consists of a percentage followed by the star, which is an optional field where the value read will not be assigned to the argument, it will be dropped. You can also specify the maximum number of characters that is to be read in the width, and similarly you can also specify the size also, how much amount it is to be read. And you have the conversion code. Conversion code, it modifies the conversion code to accept a format for the following types, like short int, long int, where the conversion is being performed as integer conversion, and suppose if it is L and capital L, it performs a float point conversion. Now this is the format specifier, I mean the control string specifier format. The syntax is like this: percentage, flag, this is an optional, and the maximum width can be specified, and you can also specify the size, and then the conversion code, this is which is similar to this slide. Now the conversion code, as I said, you can have percentage %c, that we already know, what we have already seen in case of a printf statement. Likewise, we can have all these set of inputs for the scanf statement also. Similarly, as we have used a %n previously in this program, we have used %n in one particular slide, where I have just mentioned the use of %n here. Now you see, when you are having a %n, this is a pointer to the stream of strings which is present over here, where it has the count of total number of characters. So that is what is the n here, that is what is the usage of n here. So this n, it specifies a pointer to an integer, right? The corresponding argument is a pointer to an integer into which the number of characters read is placed. So that is why we got the total number of characters as the n value previously in that program. Now let us have a look into some of the examples of this scanf statement, how we are going to get the input. Now you see, I am having a scanf statement where I have some values. Assume that this a, b, c are integers and this x is a character. So I am getting 3 integer value and 1 character value, and I am printing the value of a, b, c and then x. Now in each and every cases we will be using an ampersand. Only for the string we won't be using an ampersand, that we know. Now in this case I am trying to get the input for a, b, c and x, and I am trying to print the values here in this statement. Now suppose if I am giving a input like this, like I am giving a 10, then I am giving 20, 30 space A. So in between this 10, 20, 30 and A there are spaces. Now suppose if you give an input like this, then the output will be only 10, 20 and then 30. Now you might wonder, we are getting 4 inputs and we are giving a 4 input like 10, 20, 30 and A, and why this X is not printed, means X is accepting, I am giving a value as A but it is not printed. But what happens actually here is, when you are trying to print the value of X, at this point I am giving a space. So this space is being converted into a character and this character is stored in C. So actually after 30 a space will be printed, but that is not that we cannot just see that. So this A becomes the next character. So in this point a space is being converted into a character and it is being printed. Now suppose if you want to print this value of A, and if you want to make this A to be stored in X, then you should give the input like this as 10, 20, 30, and in between 30 and A there should not be any space. Suppose if you give a space, then the space will be stored as a character in X. Now since you are not giving a space here, then what happens here is, in the output you will be getting 10, 20, 30 and A. So this seems to be very simple, but a small slight variation makes this program a little bit interesting. Now this is the format. Suppose if I just want to give an A, now what can I do here is, as I said, you should give it as 30 without a space, then you will get an output as A like this. Or else what you can do here is percentage D, percentage D, percentage D, 3 percentage D without any spaces, and you can leave a space here. You can leave a space here. So while I am entering the input, 10, 20, 30 will be stored in A, B and C. Now after 30 you see I am giving a space. I am giving a space. So this space is a format which is followed here, and after this space what character I am just giving will get stored in this X. So if I want to give by using a space like 10 space 20 space 30 space A, then I should use a space in this place in this scanf statement, so that the input whatever I am giving with respect to 10, 20 and 30, space A, and the space will be the corresponding control string, and the next A will be stored here in X, and my output will be like 10, 20, 30 and then A. So this is the next program, a simple program where I am trying to print the value. Now you see I am having a integer X which is stored. Now I am entering the value for this X, and using an ampersand X I am entering the value. But now you see inside this scanf statement I am using X equal to. Inside this scanf statement I am using X equal to. I am inside this scanf statement we will use only the control string like percentage D, percentage I, but now in this case I am using it as X is equal to percentage D. Now if I am using X is equal to percentage D, X is equal to percentage D, and if I give an input as 10, now assume that if you are giving an input as 10, then you will get the value of X which is printed here as 30. So this 37 will get printed. This 37 will get printed if you are using a value of X as 10. Since you have specified inside the scanf statement as x is equal to 10, then you should give as x equal to 10. So after you enter the x value, you have to enter the value as x is equal to 10 and not simply 10. So there is a difference between entering 10 and you have to give it as x equal to 10. So this x equal to will get matched up with this x equal to which is there in scanf statement, and this 10 will get assigned to the memory address of this x. Then only you will get the value of x is equal to 10. Suppose if you are going to enter only 10, you won't get the value of x is equal to 10. You will get some values like x is equal to 37. Similarly, this is one more program where I have declared 4 integer values and 1 character value. So 4 integer values and 1 character value. So A, B, C and D. So I am going to enter the value. So I have given a space here, right? So you can enter the value by using a space. So 10, 20, 30 and A. So 10 will get stored in A, 20 will stored in B, and 30 will be stored in C, and this A will be stored in this D. Now, as I said earlier, the scanf will return the total number of values it has scanned, accepted and it has stored. So when you look into this, the total number of values it has accepted and stored is 4. So that get returned and it is stored in this n. So when I am trying to print this value of n here, it prints the value of n as 4. So the scanf function returns the number of variables it has successfully read. So this is a program to illustrate that. And similarly, when you are using a star, so earlier we have said that when you are trying to use a variable as star, it suppresses the input. It suppresses the input. So I have declared 3 integers A, B and C and a character D, and I am getting the values of A, B, C and then D. Now you see I am giving the values like percentage D, percentage star D, percentage star D, percentage D. So these first 2 control string, that is percentage D and percentage star D and percentage star D, they will accept the input, but it will not be getting stored over here. So this is simply neglected. So 10, 20 will get neglected. Only the values of 30 and A alone will get stored here in this A and B. So the 10 and 20 will be neglected. So A will be having a value of 30 and this B will be having a value of A. Now when you look into this A is a character, but in case of this B, it is an integer. So what happens here is ultimately the corresponding ASCII value for this A, which is equal to 97, will be stored in this B. And what about C and D? C and D doesn't have any input. So what is being stored over here is C, it has a value as 0, and D doesn't have any value. So obviously there is no value for this D. So this 30 will be stored in A, and this A's ASCII value will be stored in B, since it is D, percentage D, and the rest of the values will be 0, and there will be no value for this D. And similarly, this is another program. When you look into this program, now you see here I have a variable which is named as x, and it is being stored as integer value. Now while getting the value for this x, I have specified the width of this x. Now what is the width that is being specified here? Specified is 3. So it can accept the maximum value of size 3 alone. Now I am entering the value of x as 1, 2, 3, 4, but the width is only 3, so it accepts only 1, 2 and 3 and not this 4. So obviously this 4 get neglected, and in the output I get only 1, 2 and then 3. So the conclusion that we can give for this scanf statement is, the scanf statement will stop reading a value for this variable if it encounters a white space character, or else it has found the maximum number of characters that has been specified in the width, or an end of file character is being reached, or sometimes if an error is detected, this scanf will stop, right? So these are all the some of the categories of IO functions. Like we have a scanf statement, and then we have a printf statement as a formatted input output, and we have seen some of the getch, putch, getchar, putchar function with respect to this unformatted IO functions. Thank you.